Hey guys, it's Pope. Today is Thanksgiving. I know this gets posted a little bit beyond the actual date, but I just wanted to say that I'm thankful for my health is one of the things on my list. And the reason I say that, as an athlete, injury is kind of part of the game, and I've dealt with quite a lot of injuries over the last couple years that I've been training, but thankfully in 2016 I've been a bit healthier and I've not had to sit out really any time due to injury. And I think part of that has come from taking care of my body a little bit better, doing better warm-ups, focusing on activation, using every recovery method possible to keep good blood flow through my quads that get used a shit ton in weightlifting, and just really taking care of my body a little bit more. So I like to share some of that stuff with you guys. I have added in a couple new things to my squat warm-up. After working with the PT Quinn at Juggernaut, we've come up with some things to try to work on my squat movement pattern, so I want to show you guys a couple of those things today. So here I'm just doing a basic runner's lunge hip flexor stretch. I found this is a little more effective than cap stretch I was usually doing. Doing it with both the straight leg and bent leg, just really getting deep into that hip flexor, letting it open up. I've been using the Mark Bell Slingshot hip circle for a while for glute activation, but something I've been kind of really focusing on while I do this in my warm-up is my pelvis position. I'm one that is very anterior pelvic tilted naturally, and when I'm doing my warm-up, I want to be drilling correct position for squats, not be doing the warm-up with my pelvis tipped backwards and big arch in my back, because that's how I'm going to end up squatting if that's how I'm training my muscles to get warm. So something I'm really focusing on is hips under while I'm doing these glute activation exercises. Just the forward and backward walks and then side to side. This next one is kind of the big one that's been really helping with my squat mechanics. Quinn showed me this. We're doing a lunge, putting all of my weight forward, just really trying to get some change in range of motion in my ankle, using the kettlebell to get some more weight to push it forward. That's kind of getting the stretch, getting my ankles ready to use their full range of motion. I've had 5 ankle surgeries from my gymnastics career, so I have very tight ankles. I think that's my biggest limiter in my mobility, so this stretch is just getting them ready, and then I'm using a very simple goblet squat. And at first I do it with the weight in front and focusing on knees forward as much as possible while keeping my heels down. I just recently became able to do this barefoot, and this is a huge improvement. Even though my knees are still not tracking that far forward, this is a lot of gain for me that I'm able to push my knees in front of my ankle joint at all. So I'm really trying to keep my quads firing the entire time. The second set is with the kettlebell and the traditional goblet squat style up near my chest. It's harder. I would start with the one down low first. It's a little bit easier to keep your balance and keep your heels down if you have tight ankles like me. And this one is the bigger challenge. Again, trying to keep the quads firing the whole time. My natural movement pattern for the squat is to just push my hips back and not have my knees forward at all, because when I started lifting, I had literally no ankle range of motion, so my quads would turn off when my knees were pushing back. So the idea is to get my quads really firing throughout the entire range of motion of the squat. These I put in my last video. They're Peterson step-ups, but I didn't really explain it. I am stepping backwards and working on getting my VMO to activate. I've got my foot turned out a little bit and I tap the VMO to really get it to wake up. These have been awesome for some patellar tracking issues I've had in the past, so I always keep them in my warm-up. Earlier in the week I did 110 for a triple and then 3 drop sets of 5 at 100. That definitely felt easier than those just did, but that's volume for you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.